Hi, welcome to Booking Through Life. I'm Mary and I hope you're having a good day. And today we are talking about my February TBR and Pile of Possibilities. I'm calling it my TBR and Pile of Possibilities because I'm definitely going to read some books and I'm hoping to read all of them, but I know I won't. So there's quite a big list here. I was trying to keep my involvement in reading challenges and readathons. I was trying to keep it on the low end so I could be more successful with my goals, but I did really well last month. Well, my next video will be my January wrap-up, but I am out of control this this month of February. So without further ado, let's get started on my TBR. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the read-alongs and challenges that I'm involved with. So this is in no particular order. This is not how I'm going to read these books, but this is how I'm going to talk about them. So I'm involved with the FOMO book club. That's Fear of Missing Out, and it's hosted by Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, Jem at Gemma Books, Jack at Spreads Book Joy, and Emily at Novell Novels. We read one novel or one book every 2 months, so you have 2 months to read the book, and then they do a live discussion, live chat on YouTube at the end of the second month. So this is our second book that we're going through. It's Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier, and I haven't read it yet. I like to wait until the second month so it will be more fresh in my mind, because as you know, I have a little bit of brain fog due to either getting older or my autoimmune disease, and so I forget things very easily. That's why I keep a book journal now. And so I like things to be a little bit fresher in my mind. So I will read this towards the end of February, middle to end of February. Looking forward to diving into that. Then another reading group I'm involved with is Kate Howe's Kindred Spirits. And last month, January, was the first time I participated, and she has a Zoom meeting, and so you have to email her if you're interested in joining, and she'll put you on the email list with the Zoom invite, and then we all get on Zoom and we share what we liked about the book. So for the month of February, we're reading The Pursuit of Love by Nancy Mitford, and my Nancy Mitford is 2 books wrapped in one. It also has Love in a Cold Climate. I'm just planning on reading The Pursuit of Love, although I don't really like reading half a book and not being able to say it's done. So who knows, maybe if I have time, I'll read Love in a Cold Climate as well. But definitely will read in the Pursuit of Love, and I'll read that towards when there's probably 5 days until we're going to have the Zoom meeting. Then I'll pick this up and read through it so I can be fresh to talk about it. Then another reading challenge I'm participating in is Read Your Bookshelf Challenge for 2023, and that's hosted by Chantel Reads All Day. And so for January, I just had it. I told you I wasn't organized. Well, for January, there it is, I read The Hollywood Spy. The prompt was by Susan Ilya McNeil, and the prompt was read a book that starts with the or a in the title, so The Hollywood Spy. And then the subsequent book will have a tie-in with the month before. So February's book is color theory is involved, and that's read a book that has complementary colors from the cover. So I have my color wheel here, and there's yellow, blue, and green. I was just looking at mostly green and blue. And so the complementary color of blue, so how you figure that out is you look on the color wheel and it's the opposite. So that would be orange. And then green, the opposite, is red. So I was thinking I could do orange and red, or I could do orange, or I could do red, either which way. So the book I was trying to squeeze in was this one, Mr. Malcolm's List by Suzanne, Allain. And it's got red, kind of purple, and pink on the cover, which maybe isn't truly a good one. I could say, well, the, what was it? Green. I could say green dress, red dress. So that could work. Maybe I'll just stick with that so I don't get too many books on my list. So I'll read that one for that reading challenge. And then, and if you have an opinion on that and you don't think that counts, I'll read An Heiress's Guide to Deception and Desire by Mandy Collins. And this has orange and red in the cover, so this one definitely would count. So you can comment below if you have an opinion. I will listen, I promise. So then the next challenge that I'm involved with, or readathon that I'm involved with, is the Around the World in 80 Days readathon. That's hosted by Miriam at Miriam Elizabeth Reads, Holly at Lovely Day with Holly, and Anne with a Book. And there's like 11 or 12 prompts for this. It started, I think, February 11th, and it goes through March 31st. And I was just too busy with books already in January, so I didn't get started. So I am going to read Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. And they say you don't have to read them all. You can participate as much as you want. I always like to do it all. So probably what I will end up doing is, for me, this will just go through April. Maybe I'll try to count when I start this book as day one, and I'll try to go 80 days from that. Or maybe I'll just go as long as it takes. So there's a variety of prompts for that one. One of which is, so it's they're reading around the world, all the places where Phileas Fogg stops in the book. And like I said, there's about 10 or 11 or 12 different stops. And so one of the stops is Ireland. And I picked this up just this month. And it's Graham Norton's A Keeper. And I've really wanted to read a Graham Norton book because I love him as a chat show host. He's very funny. He had said he's written several books, so I was definitely interested in them. And I don't really know what this is about. It says, when Elizabeth Keene returns to Ireland after her mother's death, she's focused only on saying goodbye to that dark, dismal part of her life. Her childhood home is packed solid with useless junk. Her mother's presence already fading, but within this mess, she discovers a small stash of letters and ultimately the truth. So, sounds kind of good. So I'm going to read that. That's a definite. I'll talk about the other books that are just on my pile of possibilities that are for that readathon. I'll talk about those in a little bit. Oh, another one was, wait a minute, was Singapore. That's another stop. And I am going to try to read Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan for that challenge as well. So, and then, let's see. Oh, I only have a few more books. Oh, then, this is not for a challenge. This is, well, there is Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Books. She has a Serious About Series challenge, and I haven't really talked about that yet, but I'm thinking of being a part of that because I'm reading some series, and it fits into with what I'm doing, so it will fit in nicely. So anyway, I'm reading the Royal Spinous mystery series, and the next one in line for me to read is Heirs and Graces, and I'm really excited to get back into this book. It only takes me a little bit to go through this. I think this is book 6, and so yeah, so I'm definitely reading this book. Then there's also Anne. Oh, it's book number 4 in the Anne series, and I don't have it. I don't know where it is. I have it, I just don't know where it's at, and I don't even remember what the title is. So I definitely want to read that next one. I'm trying to read through the Anne of Green Gables series. I'm on book number 4. I will do the magical floating book. Where's my magic wand? Haven't had that out. Ooh, bibbidi bobbidi boo. So, magical floating book. And yeah, so I'm hoping to read that one. I'm starting to have probably too many books now. So some of these will be piles of possibilities. And then I also wanted to join, again, Elizabeth at Lizzie Fay Loves Books with her Little House on the Prairie Readathon, and that's just from February 7th to the 10th. They're reading A Long Winter. I'll have another floating book here for that. I don't own that. I'll probably check that out at the library. And I would love to read through the whole series. I've read them a couple of times before. I read them in my youth, and I have read them as an adult as well. And we own all the DVDs of the series, so maybe it's time to get back into visiting Little House on the Prairie. So those are the ones that I really, really want to read. And then it ends up there's just 1, maybe 2. So France is another destination in the Around the World in 80 Days. And I've picked Andrew Miller's Pure. I really liked his a different book that I read, and I can never remember the name of it. It's right behind me. It is Now We Shall Be Entirely Free. I really loved his writing style. I'm hoping that this one will be just as good. So I will read this one either this month or next month for Around the World in 80 Days. A hangover from January was The Princess and the Goblin. I doubt that I will have time to get to it, but if for some reason I do, I would like to knock this one off of my TBR list. So, what do you think? Oh, I'm also with my mom. She and I are reading Jane Eyre. I don't have the copy that I'm reading. She's way up there, but there's a space where you see where the book is pulled out. I will... Floating book? Yeah, you know Jane Eyre. She and I are buddy reading that. We were planning on reading that for October, but she was in a reading slump, and then she was reading another book that I had given her, and now she's ready to read. She reads a lot more slowly than I do, so I usually read books while we're reading that together. And so we read a few chapters and then we discuss. We read a few chapters and we discuss because she doesn't want to miss out on any little details to discuss. So she's fun to read with. So I'm reading that as well too. And I talked about this before, I'm kind of inching my way through Spare. I haven't picked it up in a while, so I'll probably pick that up in a few days and read a little bit as well. So that's it. That's my TBR pile of possibilities. It's quite a stack as always. We'll see what I get through and what I don't. So please, again, thank you for all the people who have just recently subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please feel free to just click that button. Give me a like if you like this video, and please comment. As always, I love that. That's my favorite part of these videos is reading your comments and commenting back. So please let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think about them, or tell me what you're reading for February. It's not January, it's February. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. So that's it. And I'll see you again in my next video. Until then, I hope all your good books are great books. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.